watching the Grizzlies Digital Network. Now let's go live to the voice of the Grizzlies, Matt Mahoney.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Lawrenceville, Georgia, on the campus of Georgia Gwinnett College. We are live from the Grizzly Baseball Complex, where Jeremy Sheetinger and your fifth-ranked Georgia Gwinnett Grizzlies will take on the Lourdes Gray Wolves. Hello again, everybody. I'm Matt Mahoney. A little bit early start time here. Game 2 of our doubleheader will feature the Grizzlies versus the Gray Wolves, and we'll get things started with our public address announcer here at the Grizzly Baseball Complex, and Mr. Jeff Holcomb.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet the starting lineup for today's game. First up, the visiting Lourdes Gray Wolves out of Sylvania, Ohio, who stand 5-2 on the season. Leading off and playing right field, number 44, Harrison Jackson. Batting second and playing third base, number 22, Glenn Crabtree. Batting third and playing left field, number 20, Jay Denton. Batting fourth, the center fielder, number 23, Brad Hammond. Batting fifth and playing second base, number 9, Riley Walters. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 42, Michael Longazack. Batting seventh and playing first base, number 19, Cedric Gonzalez. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, number 8, John Hare. And batting ninth and catching, number 37, Alec Calatini. Pitching for the Gray Wolves is number 30, Colby Rogie. Lourdes is coached by John Bradford. And now the starting lineup for the number 5 team in the nation, who stand 18-2 on the season, your Georgia Gwinnett Grizzlies. Leading off the shortstop, a junior from Somerville, Georgia, number 10, Gabe Howell. Batting second, the second baseman, a senior from Kennewick, Washington, number 8, Kyle Harvey. Batting third, the third baseman, a junior from Tampa, Florida, number 25, Steven Lugo. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, a senior from Somerville, South Carolina, number 18, Gabe Austin. Batting fifth, the right fielder, a junior from Monroe, number 32, Nick Barnes. Batting sixth, the left fielder, a sophomore from Winder, number 17, Ryan Cavey. Batting seventh, the catcher, a junior from Austin, New York, number 5, Austin Bates. Batting eighth, the first baseman, a junior from Overville, number 9, Tate Kite. And batting ninth, the center fielder, a junior from McDonough, number 21, Cord Johnson. Pitching for your Grizzlies this evening, a senior from Wakefield, Virginia, number 11, Hunter Pack. The Grizzlies are coached by Jeremy Sheetinger in his first season. He's assisted by Steve West, Kyle Norton, and Alan Thomas. Fans, at this time, we ask everyone to please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem. It's time to play ball.
Truer words never been spoken here at the Grizzly Baseball Complex. Glad to have you aboard here. Do us a huge favor. Spread the word if you're tuned in here early to the Grizzly Digital Network. We are 30 minutes ahead of schedule in today's doubleheader as Lourdes beat Talladega by a score of 13-1. We'll get to more of that in a minute throughout the course of today's broadcast. But for now, we're going to tune into game number 2 starting lineup. Defensively in the outfield, a quick scratch. Ryan Cavey gets a start. About 10 minutes ago, Livingston Morris removed from the starting lineup. Ryan Cavey goes into left field. Cord Johnson stays in center. And Nick Barnes, who's going to start in left, will now start in right. Infield remains the same. No changes there for Sheeninger. Lugo, Howell, Harvey, and Kite. Back behind the plate will be Austin Bass, and he'll catch the balls and strike today from the Grizzlies. Number 1, the left-handed ace, number 11, Hunter Peck, senior, 6'1", out of Wakefield, Virginia. Looking ultra sharp in the white hats, the green tops with the white letters and numbers, the G-claw on the chest, the white pants. Maybe one of the best uniform combinations the Grizzlies have out of the new Nike uniform deal just signed in the beginning of this season. On the other side of things, Hunter Peck will try to take down the offensive lineup for Josh Bradford in his first season of the program. It'll be Jackson, Crabtree, and Denman at the top. Ammons, Walters, and Lonazak down in the middle, and then down at the bottom, Gonzalez, Hare, and Palinati will round out the lineup for the Gray Wolves, who hang out at 5-2. And it's a very interesting 5-2. We'll get to that throughout the course of today's broadcast, too, as well. The Gray Wolves wear the ironic gray road uniforms, gray top, gray pants, black letters and numbers with a lot of red trim hanging out. Maybe that's orange trim, orange trim hanging out in the first base dugout. They'll be the visitors on the scoreboard, and the Grizzlies are your traditional home team for this 9-inning affair. Georgia Gwinnett sitting on a 17-game winning streak at 18-2 on the season. They're the 5th-ranked team in the nation. You know, that new poll coming out in a short amount of time. Grizzlies may look to climb the ladder a little bit. A couple of top 25 teams, or should I say top 5 teams that don't have the same record that Georgia Gwinnett does. But we get a long weekend of baseball, too. I don't want to bury all the leads to our storylines throughout the course of this weekend, but looking forward to a long, good, quality weekend of baseball here, part of the spring break extravaganza here. Georgia Gwinnett wrapping up their spring break. Meanwhile, schools like Lourdes, Talladega, and Cumberland just getting theirs going. First pitch from Hunter Peck, right in there for a strike. We're underway with baseball here in Gwinnett County. Harrison Jackson, the right-handed hitting right fielder, digs in to the right-handed batter's box. We're number 44, freshman, 5'11", out of Millbury, Ohio. Second pitch from Peck, all cheese, and the swing and a miss from Jackson. Counts 0-2. Jackson hit at the top of this lineup earlier today, as it was Talladega versus Lourdes in game 1 of today's doubleheader. And Lourdes, oh my Lord, it took it 13-1. 0-2, Hunter Peck way ahead of Harrison Jackson. Inside fastball, just misses a little bit off the plate. It's now 1-2. Jackson, a part of this Lourdes team, at 5-2 on the season, have only played 6 games before traveling south here in the month of March for spring break. Tough go-around. 1-2, swing and a miss. Peck sticks with the cheese and gets his first strikeout. So there's one gone, nobody on, as Hunter Peck, proper introduction for the lefty. For Georgia Gwinnett, there is no doubt about it. Our number 1 Friday night starter under the lights here in Lawrenceville. Peck in his senior season, returning back to his 2018 AII Pitcher of the Year form. Now he'll face Glenn Crabtree, the right-handed hitting third baseman. First pitch, swing and a miss on the fastball. Peck gets ahead 0-1. It may look quite pleasant on your screens there between the Grizzlies and the Gray Wolves, but folks, temperature at 51 degrees and sunny. That's the good news. Except for we're under a wind advisory with gusts up to 40 miles an hour. It's consistently 20 to 25 mile an hour winds. It's not dying down. It doesn't crank up and then die down. No, we're consistently 25 mile an hour wind with wind gusts as much as 40 miles an hour blowing from the left field foul pole straight across the diamond over to the right field foul pole. We saw an opposite field home run get out of the ballpark earlier today by by Glenn Crabtree, who digs in here. Just got it up in the jet stream and pushed it out over the fence. And so Crabtree on the right side of the hole 0-2 versus Hunter Peck. Fastball flailed out of this Crabtree, and he stays alive at 0-2. Crabtree wearing 22, fifth-year senior, 6'2", out of Medina, Ohio. Peck way ahead. Stays ahead with a setup pitch and a fastball that misses upstairs. Count now 1-2. Peck delivers in. Fastball, climb the ladder again. Crabtree couldn't hold off of that. 2 batters faced and 2 batters retired via the strikeout.
Batting left fielder, number 20, Jay Denman.
And so with 2 gone, nobody on. This will bring up the left fielder and Jay Denman. As this Lourdes team making the 10-hour trip right down I-75 all the way from the Ohio-Michigan border. That's right. They were north of Fort Wayne and almost all the way to Michigan, right off of Lake Erie. And I'll put it to you this way. They're closer to Detroit than any town that you've heard of in Ohio. They're probably a good hour and a half south of Detroit, Michigan, about 30 miles west of Sandusky, Ohio, even north of Bowling Green, Ohio. If you've been to Bowling Green, Ohio, you know you're close to that state line. And Lourdes is in between Bowling Green, Ohio, and the Michigan-Ohio border. And they took the 10-hour trip south here to play some baseball in some much improved conditions. They probably love in this 50-mile-an-hour wind and 50-degree temperatures. 0-2, this one's fisted to the infield. Gabe Howell, the shortstop, will retreat to the outfield grass, and he'll haul that one in for a loose fly ball out for out number 3. Hunter Peck faces the minimum in the first, and we go to the home half. We got a scoreless contest. We'll take a look at Jeremy Scheidinger's offensive lineup on the other side of this here on the Grizzly Digital Network.
See the complete picture with Farmers Insurance, Armina Jakubovic, a GGC graduate. Auto, home, and more. Get the coverage you want from us. We've seen a thing or two. Find out more about her services by calling 470-709-2791 today.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to Lawrenceville, Georgia. Home half of the first inning. We take a look at the Lourdes Gray Wolves defensive lineup in the outfield from left to right. Denman, Emmons, and Jackson. Around the horn, Crabtree, Hare. Palinati's the second baseman. Gonzalez going to wear the odd glove over at first. The big glove back behind the plate for the Gray Wolves will be, I didn't write his name down. Here we go. Let's try that again. Palinati.
Hitting out for the Grizzlies, the shortstop, number 10.
Palinati's the catcher. Walters. There we go. Riley Walters is going to be the second baseman. So now you're caught up. Gonzalez, the first baseman. Palinati, the catcher. And the pitcher will be Colby Rogie. Rogie wears number 30, senior season, 6'1", at Holland, Ohio. And his first pitch, right over the heart of the plate for a strike to Gabe Howell. Howell, Harvey, and Lugo at the top. In the middle, that's Austin, Barnes, and Cavey in the middle. Bates, Kite, and Johnson down at the bottom. Gabe Howell, the shortstop, wearing number 10, digs in. Second pitch, breaking ball in the inside part, misses. Counts even at 1-1. Gabe Howell, leadoff batter, hitting shortstop, finds himself in there for the second consecutive week in this lineup at that position. Trying to kickstart this offense. Check swing to go straight back to the netting. Count 1-2. One, two. Breaking ball swung on. Slammed down the left field line, but foul. Again, temperature 51 degrees. We got sustained 20 to 25 mile an hour winds. Wind gusts them up 40 miles an hour. It's going to make for quite the interesting afternoon of baseball. 1-2. Breaking ball. Howell turns on this one on the left. It'll drop down in front of Denman. As Talladega had a tough time in game number 1 dealing with those fly balls in the wind conditions. They had 3 generous errors ruled against them for the Grizzlies. So Howell's aboard via the base hit. Again, navigating these winds will be tough for anybody with a glove today. Now this will bring up Kyle Harvey. He squares the bunt, pulls it back, takes it for a ball, 1-0. Kyle Harvey, the right-handed hitting second baseman, wearing number 8. If you got Howell in the leadoff spot, more than likely we're going to have Harvey in the 2 holes. These guys start to settle in as we turn the month over from February to March. It's not a whole lot left to figure out for Jeremy Sheetinger in this lineup as everybody's starting to grow into their roles and accelerate. Pickoff move to first, and Howell got caught leaning in the wrong direction. Throw down to second. Hare applies a tag, and Howell is caught stealing. So Rogie picks him off a Grizzly over at first base. So Howell is retired. Harvey's in a 1-0 count. And a fresh start back to the windup for Rogie. Howell squares the bunt. Harvey squares the bunt, but bunts this one. A good effort there, but it just pushes it foul on the third base side. And he'll retreat back to the plate in a 1-1 count. GGC team, you're going to blink after this weekend series and realize that the Grizzlies are within striking distance of one of the most prestigious records in program history. That was a 25-game winning streak dating all the way back to the 2016 season. The reason I say that, 1-1 count. This one slammed over the bag at third, and we get a little foul ball. As both Howell and Harvey have gone picking down that third base side, but bolstered a couple of them foul. 1-2 count to Harvey. So the Grizzlies got Lourdes today, Talladega tomorrow. Then on Sunday, they're going to have Lourdes one more time. As Harvey fouls this one off, and he's got himself a battle. Lourdes today, Talladega tomorrow, another Lourdes on Sunday. Monday, you're going to have the 11th ranked University of Cumberland's. And if you get through that one, you got Viterbo out of Wisconsin on Tuesday. And I'm just assuming victories here, and I know that's a lot to assume, but stay with me here, is when the Grizzlies wake up on Wednesday, or maybe go to bed Tuesday night, if they cruise through this spring break invitational, the Grizzlies are looking at 22 wins in a row, and now all of a sudden you start going, wow, that 25-game winning streak is really in jeopardy. That ball is blasted in the left center field by Harvey, but the wind will keep it in the air and peel it back into the mid of Ammons in center field for out number 2. So a good stroke by Harvey. I think no wind conditions to get to the gap in left center, but because of that wind, it blows it back into center field and into the glove of Ammons for out number 2. This will bring up Stephen Lugo. And so no disrespect to Lourdes today or on Sunday, or Cumberland's or Viterbo or even Talladega. But I think the point of the matter is, so many times coaches talk about day by day, big weekend series, 5 games in a matter of 5 days. That's not easy to do. That's a grind, even at home, even in good weather conditions. Can the Grizzlies come out on top? I think it's a tall order to say that they win 5 in a row this weekend, but they could be going to bed Tuesday night and waking up Wednesday morning going, wow, we're on a 22-game winning streak, and we're 23-2 in the overall, and the new poll's going to come out, and whoa. Fastball hits on the outside corner to Stephen Lugo. It's 1-2. And I think Livingston Morris said it best in our Grizzly Today postgame interview. It was about 2 weeks ago. It was before all this winning streak nonsense really caught some momentum. Livingston Morris, coming off that win versus Tennessee Williams, says, we believe that we're the best team in the nation, and we just got to prove that every day. And so far, 17 times in a row, the Grizzlies have done that. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Stephen Lugo. He wears number 25, junior season, 6 foot tall, 176 pounds out of Tampa, Florida. Lugo working on Rogie. Fastball swing and a miss as Rogie will pick up his first strikeout, and it's out number 3 in the first. So both pitchers face the minimum. We got no score. We hit it a second here on the Grizzly Digital Network.
Family owned and operated with over 60 years of experience, Gunter Automotive Napa Auto Care Center is dedicated to taking care of all your automotive needs. Gunter Automotive is located in Lawrenceville at 553 John Connor Court. You can also find them online at gunterautomotive.com. Leading off for the Gray Wolves, the center fielder, Brad Evans.
GGC is committed to the NAIA Championship character principles of integrity, respect, responsibility, sportsmanship, and servant leadership. Keep playing, keep learning, keep growing, game on. Learn more about the Champions of Character Initiative, the opportunity to play in NAIA at NAIA.org. Top of the second we go. Hunter Peck back on the bump for George Gwinnett. He'll face the middle of the lineup. Ammons, Walters, and Lonazak. As Brad Ammons, the right-handed hitting center fielder, tracked down that ball in center in the bottom half of the last inning. Very nice catch. We'll dig in. He's in a hole 0-2. Ammons wears number 23 in his junior season, 6'5" out of Holland, Ohio. Chases a fastball there, and Hunter Peck disposes of the Gray Wolves center fielder via his third strikeout. Proper introduction for Hunter Peck, picking up right where he left off in 2018, that's for sure. Peck yet to allow an earned run this season in 29 innings pitched. He is a 3-0 record. This is his 6th appearance and his 6th start. A 0.00 ERA, scattered 12 hits, 4 runs. Again, none of them earned, just 2 walks and 38 strikeouts. Opponents back $120 versus the lefty. Fastball misses low. Make it 1-0 to Riley Walters, the second baseman, who got lost in my lineup card. But Walters going to play second base and hit in the 5 spot here in game 2 of this doubleheader. That one hits for a strike. It's 1-1. True doubleheader for this Lourdes team, beating Talladega 13-1 in game number 1, and then gets a fresh GGC team that's playing their first game of the day. Grizzlies will be the benefactor of that over the next 5 days, playing in game 2 of all of these doubleheaders. Lourdes and Talladega will go back at it again tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and then Talladega will play Georgia Gwinnett in the nightcap game 2 on Saturday. 1-2, Peck delivers in. That's off the end of the bat, looped into right. Wind's going to blow that one well beyond the range of Nick Barnes, and that's not a knock on Nick Barnes. That is a indictment on what Mother Nature has got going on here in Metro Atlanta. Wind gusts of 40 miles an hour. As Riley Walters now graded with a 2-2 count. Walters, his junior season, 5'10", out of Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada. 2-2, swing and a miss. Peck goes with the off-speed stuff. Now 4 strikeouts and 5 batters faced for Hunter Peck. And this will bring up the DH and Michael Lonizak.
Now batting, designated hitter Michael Lonizak.
Now the only change in Josh Bradford's lineup from Game 1 to Game 2, and again that's Talladega versus Georgia Gwinnett, is with his first baseman. In Game number 1 it was Cameron Gallo, who hit in a cleanup spot. He is not in the lineup in Game number 2. The first baseman is Cedric Gonzalez, who hits in the 7-hole. Everybody just kind of slides up one with Denman, Walters, Lonizak in the middle of that lineup. Peck working to count 1-1 versus the DH. Where's number 42? Freshman, 5'11", out of Swanton, Ohio. Fastball again. Peck gets ahead 1-2. Buck winds and fires. Off-speed pitch, flails at that one is Lonizak, and so Hunter Peck faces the minimum again in back-to-back innings. The only difference is this time he strikes out the side. Give him credit for 5 strikeouts through 2 innings of work. We go to the home half, still scoreless contest here on the Grizzly Digital Network.
With 2 convenient locations in Dewford and Hamilton Mill, Dr. Vansel and the Mall of Georgia Dentistry have a passion for helping people smile from the inside out. Visit them online at mallofgeorgiadentistry.com. Fans, be sure to stay up to date on the Grizzlies' upcoming contest and much more by visiting ggcathletics.com or by following GGC Athletics on social media for all the latest on your favorite team. Be sure to use the hashtag GGC Athletics to have your voice heard. Leading off for the Grizzlies, the designated hitter, number 18, Gabe Austin.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to Lawrenceville, Georgia. Bottom of the second we go. 0-0 is your score. And due up for the Grizzlies will be the middle of the lineup here is Gabe Austin, a designated hitter. We'll dig into the right side. Colby Rogie, the pitcher for the Gray Wolves. Delivers a fastball. That one's fouled up and out of play to the right side. Count even to 1-1. Gabe Austin, we're number 18. Senior season, 6 foot tall, 194 pounds. Preseason NAI All-American of Summerville, South Carolina. Facing Rogie, who winds and fires. Breaking ball hits for a strike, and Rogie gets ahead 1-2. One-two. Fastball misses away as Palinati had to jump out of his crouch position. Things are even at 2-2. This Grizzly team has raised the team batting average to .311 this season. Got back from Southeastern, it was .270, and slowly but surely it's climbed up to above .300. 2-2. Swing and a miss there. Rogie wants to knock that down a run. He'll pick up his second strikeout, and it's out number 1 in the second. Proper introduction for Colby Rogie. Some would argue he's the best pitcher in the starting rotation for Lourdes. A 3.09 ERA, a 1-0 record. This is just his 3rd appearance of the season. All of them are starts. 11 2/3 innings pitched. That's the most on the team. Scattered 12 hits, giving up 4 runs. All of them earned. Just 1 walk and 7 strikeouts. Opponent's bat 255. First the righty. As Nick Barnes digs in. First pitch misses for a ball and a breaking ball, 1-0. Barnes had to trade in his left fielder's outfield glove for his right fielding outfield glove right before first pitch, moving him from left to right in the absence of Livingston Morris, who was scratched right before first pitch. That was off the end of the bat. Nick Barnes will loop a base hit into right. So Barnes aboard first.
Left fielder, number 17, Ryan Cavey.
And this will bring up the new left fielder, Ryan Cavey. So Cavey is in this 6th spot in the lineup for Livingston Morris, who an hour ago was supposed to start, but was scratched just moments ago before first pitch. So Cavey grabs his glove and jumps out there in left field. Now grab a helmet and a bat and dig in the left-handed batter's box. Rogie kicks and fires. Cavey slices this one over top of the Grizzly dugout. As Cavey in from the left side, getting the start of sophomore season. 5'10", 174 pounds at a Winder, Georgia. Cavey picking up his 7th start of the season. Pick over to check on Barnes. That one's right on the 3-2 in his back. Nice play by Gonzalez to keep him in the infield. Barnes sneaky fast over there at first. 9 for 10 in the stolen base category. And that would make him 3rd on the team in stolen bases. Nick Barnes. And if you count starters only, he's 2nd on the team. The guy that leads the team is a courtesy runner, and Miles Smith. Breaking ball misses up and away, even at 1-1. I can make this even more entertaining for you. How about Nick Barnes leads all outfielders in stolen bases? And he's 2nd on the team in I'm going to make sure I got this right. Nick Barnes 2nd most stolen bases amongst all upperclassmen, 2 as well. Gabe Howell only beats him. Pick over to first. That one's in the dirt. And another glove save and a beauty by Gonzalez over at first. Like a hockey goalie, went down to a knee and covered up the 5-hole. Another pick over to Barnes, and another play knocked down by Gonzalez. Might have to change in the hat for a hockey mask. Guy's got some skills over there at first. One ball, one strike. Rogie, another pick over. This one doesn't draw dirt, it just hits leather. But Barnes diving back in safely. So Cavey going to work here. One ball, one strike from the left side. We see Rogie from the stretch for just the 2nd time. He picked off Gabe Howell the previous time he's from the stretch, and he's working on Nick Barnes. Barnes on the move. Cavey off and swinging. Fouls this one over top of the Grizzly dugout. A barehanded grab down there by, I believe, Nick Tanner. Showing off the hand-eye coordination. And so Jeremy Sheetinger going through the number sequence there in the top step of the Grizzly dugout. Trying to get Barnes and Cavey on the same page. One, two. This inside out swing looped in the left field. It'll drop down for a base hit. Barnes had to hold up initially, kind of got deked in left, but now scampers into the bag at 2nd safely. And so back-to-back singles for the Grizzlies. Put runners at 1st and 2nd and 1 out. Now for the catcher and Austin Bates.
Now batting the catcher, number 5, Austin Bates.
So Bates digs into the right side. The Grizzlies have a chance to stick to their MO, scoring runs early in ball games. We have seen this time and time again. There was a streak of 15 games in a row to start the season, which the Grizzlies scored first. Hasn't been quite the case over the last 2 weeks, but nonetheless, Grizzlies have gone toe-to-toe with some of the better competition and still rallied for what is the 17-game hitting streak. First pitch breaking ball issued by Rogie. Bates takes it for a ball. 1-0. Austin Bates, the junior catcher, 5'10", 165 pounds. Out of Austin, New York. There's a bunt and run, and that ball's put down in front of the plate. Palinati over to first, but the second baseman, Walters, not on the bag, and everyone's safe. I do believe that was a double steal, bunt and run, with one out here in the bottom of the second. And as a result, that'll load them up.
Now batting first baseman, number 9, Tate Kite.
So Barnes hangs out at third. Cavey stays put at second. We'll get a new runner over at first. It's the courtesy runner, Miles Smith. So the bases are loaded with one out now for Tate Kite. Our Grizzly today from last Sunday's doubleheader versus West Virginia Tech. Tate Kite had one of my favorite plays of 2020 so far. No, it wasn't the two-run home run at the end of game number 2. It was the spark plug in game number 1. First pitch misses upstairs for a ball, 1-0. On a swinging bunt to the third baseman, Kite hustles down the first baseline and beats it out. In a very demoralizing moment for the Golden Bears, the pitcher, with the ball in his hand, got his head down looking at the rubber. No one's covering the bag at second, and Kite just creeps off the bag, and then takes off and steals second while the ball was still in play. So that ignited the Grizzly dugout. They would go on for 2 runs in the inning and win by a score of 4-2. I know you got Livingston Moore's walk-off home run and extra. Yeah, that's up there. Gabe Howell's web gem and shallow left center field or left field. I get it, but it is an epitome of what the 2020 Grizzlies are going to be. Blue collar, gritty, hustle, take the extra 90 feet, get on top of you early, rely on starting pitching, and squeeze out some victories from that bullpen. So Kite, chance to do what he did last weekend, get us started. A little spark plug here, this time in the second. 1-2, hitters count. Rogie delivers. Fastball, chopper left side. Long way to go for Crabtree. He'll glove it. Throw to second is in time, but Kite's hustle will beat it out over at first. So the run will come to score the Grizzlies, taking an early 1-0 lead. RBI fielder's choice by Tate Kite. So Barnes scores, and there's the yes chant that we were introduced to last weekend.
Now batting center fielder, number 21, Cord Johnson.
Old shop over at third with Kyle Norton. Smith is retired on the 5-4 putout for round number 2. Kite holds on to the bag at first. There's 2 gone, and now this will bring up the last man in the lineup in Cord Johnson. First pitch, 2-seamer, misses below the knees to Johnson, 1-0. Cord Johnson, wearing number 21, junior season, 5'10", 187 pounds, out of McDonough, Georgia. After a quality performance last weekend, he has climbed out of the cellar. And I would love to tell you he's north of the Mason-Dixon line. Or should I say he is. Well, he's right at 250, whatever that is. That's not Mason-Dixon line. That's what Lourdes traveled across to get here. Rogie delivers in. Johnson, looper over to short. Backhanded play by Hare. He wants to throw it across the diamond. Bang, bang, play goes the Gray Wolves' way. On a nice play by the Lourdes shortstop, it saves a run off the board and retires the Grizzlies in the second. However, 1-1 was plated. Grizzlies have a 1-0 lead after 2 here on the Grizzly Digital Network.
Grizzly Athletics would like to thank our official healthcare provider, Northside Hospital, for an outstanding partnership that helps keep the Grizzlies in the game. The power of the Northside Network includes hospitals in Lawrenceville and Duluth, as well as outpatient facilities and physician practices throughout Gwinnett and all of Metro Atlanta. Learn more at northside.com. Leading off for the Gray Wolves, the first baseman, number 19, Cedric Gonzalez.
Join the conversation on Twitter by using the hashtag GGC Athletics. You can also get an inside look at the Grizzly Digital Network by following us on Twitter at GDN_production. We'd love to hear from our fans from all over the world, so let's hear it. Log on to your Twitter account right now and use the hashtag GGC Athletics. Head to the top of the third inning. Hunter Peck back on the bump. He's faced the minimum through 2 innings of work. Bottom of the lineup here in the third. Gonzalez, Hare, and Pallinati. As the new first baseman, Cedric Gonzalez. Hockey goaltender turned first baseman here on the baseball diamond. Cedric Gonzalez working to count 1-1 versus Hunter Peck from the windup. Goes with a fastball there as Gonzalez goes down 1-2 in the count. Cedric Gonzalez, senior season, 5'9", out of Blissfield, Michigan. 1-2. Change up there, blocked up by Bates. Even at 2-2. This Lourdes team sprung into action versus Talladega in game number 1. Scored 1 run in the first, 4 runs in the second, and never looked back. And we're out to a 13-1 victory. Here's a looper in the right. Wynn's going to keep it up as Nick Barnes will take a couple of steps in and make the catch for out number 1.
Now batting shortstop, number 8, Josh Hare.
1 run in the first, 4 runs in the second, 2 runs in the third, 2 runs in the fourth, 2 runs in the sixth, 2 runs in the seventh, 13 runs on 17 hits, 1 error defensively. They sprang for 2 doubles, a home run, walked 7 times, had 17 hits and 38 at-bats. Ripped the cover off the baseball. Now, if we're being fair to the story, not trying to take anything away from Lourdes, but Talladega ran into a little bit of traffic coming across 85, and they showed up here about 15 minutes before what was the scheduled start time of 2 p.m. They were fortunate enough that we pushed the start time back to 2:15. So they were given a little bit of ample time to kind of knock the bus off a little bit with a jog and a light toss, but really wasn't much time in the batting cages. This one's hit out toward right. Long way to go for Harvey, and Harvey will make the running catch amongst the Bermuda Triangle for out number 2. And so Lourdes did what they were supposed to do. You get a team that kind of rolling off the bus, uncertainty how they're going to come out and play, and Lourdes just smacked them right in the mouth right out of the gate. They were the visitors on the scoreboard, and that's what you're supposed to do. And so kudos to the Gray Wolves, now 5-2 on the season after that 10-run rule in 7 innings earlier today. This will bring up the catcher and Alex Pallinati. Takes the first pitch low in the dirt for a ball, 1-0. Pallinati wears number 37, sophomore season, 5'7", out of Burlington, Ontario, Canada. This one's off the end of the bat in foul territory. That one's looped up and out of play. Things are even at 1-1. That one's no on another one. Knocked back to the netting. 1-2 on a fastball. Bates likes what he sees from Peck and delivers. Close to blowing away on off-speed pitches, even at 2-2. Lourdes team hitting .275 as a team, averaging 8 runs per contest, even through 7 innings, or 7 games played so far this season. Compare that to Georgia Gwinnett, averaging 7.7 runs per contest through 20 games this season. 2-2. Swing and a miss on the fastball. Hunter Peck disposes of the 9-hole hitter as the Grizzly Friday night starter has faced the minimum through 3 innings of work and has done so on half a dozen strikeouts. We head to the home half of the third. 1-0 Grizzlies lead here on the Grizzly Digital Network.
The Georgia Gwinnett baseball team plays Talladega tomorrow at 6 p.m. Be sure to see the team's full upcoming schedule by visiting ggcathletics.com. Once again, fans, we advise you to be alert at all times here at the field today, as balls, bats, or other objects may occasionally make their way out of the field of play. We also ask that you please return all foul balls to game staff.
There's also like a user setting on it, so if you put on like
Leading off for the Grizzlies in the bottom half of the third inning, the shortstop, Gabe Howell.
GGC softball is number 10 in the most recent NAIA coaches poll. The Grizzlies are on the road this weekend in Gulf Shores, Alabama, challenging themselves against some of the best teams in the NAIA. They get a close game going on with Baker. Matter of fact, that one now rolled through here. Final score, Baker, receiving votes in that top 25 poll, beats the Grizzlies 3-2. As the Grizzlies will turn things around later tonight versus receiving votes Weber International. We'll keep you posted on that. Back to the top of the lineup here in the bottom of the third. Gabe Howell will lead things off, and he'll ground out to fellow shortstop and Josh Hare for
now batting second baseman, Kyle Harvey.
So one out, nobody on. I'll pass the bat now to Kyle Harvey. Harvey digs into the right side versus the right-handed throwing Rogie. First pitch loops in there for a breaking ball. Count on 1. Kyle Harvey sitting on a nice little 3-game hitting streak, dating back to that Northwestern Ohio series. Harvey, 4 base hits in his last 8 at-bats. Give him credit for a double and an RBI. Sacrifice bunt, a couple of walks, and 3 runs scored. Working the count here, 1-1 versus Colby Rogie. Takes that one upstairs for a ball, 2-1. Rogie fires in. A hitter's count. Harvey out in front of that one. Skies it up to the right side. Gonzalez is going to drift into foul territory, but the wind's going to blow him back into fair, and he'll make the catch for round number 2.
Now batting third baseman, Steven Lugo.
So with 2 gone, nobody on. This will bring up the third baseman, and Steven Lugo. First pitch swinging, fouls this one up and out of play to the right side. And if you're a Grizzly fan, scratching your head about the Lourdes Grey Wolves, that's right, you've never heard of this team before. This is the first meeting between these two teams ever. Swung on this one, slammed on the left field line. He'll drop down for a base hit and more. Lugo's going to hang a left at third, and he'll cruise on up into second base. It is a 2-out stand-up double for the junior college transfer at East Florida State. So it's just a
now batting the designated hitter, Gabe Austin.
5th base hit by the Grizzlies for 2 2/3 innings, but they only have 1 run to show for it. So a chance to change that here as Lugo puts himself in scoring position for the DH and Gabe Austin. Lugo extends his hitting streak now to 4 games. As Gabe Austin digs in. First pitch, misses low and away. 1-0. Gabe Austin. Been ripping the cover off the baseball recently. Had a rough Sunday against Northwestern Ohio, 0 for 5, and that busted up a nice little hitting streak he had going. Trying to get back on the swing of things here versus Lourdes. Swung on, this one's off the end of the bat. Long way to go for Denman. It's drifting away from him. He'll make the running catch in left center field of the diving Matter. He'll come crashing down to the ground, but he'll keep the ball in his glove and retire Gabe Austin and the Grizzlies for out number 3. So Austin gives it a ride, but it's into the mid of Denman in left field, and that ends the 2-out rally for Georgia Gwinnett. 1-0 Grizzlies lead. We head to the 4th here on the Grizzly Digital Network.
Fans, check out the Grizzly Digital Network for behind-the-scenes coverage of GGC Athletics. It is also your home for broadcast of home events with the voice of the Grizzlies, Matt Mahoney. Check out the Grizzly Digital Network today. Leading off for the Gray Wolves, the right fielder, Harrison Jackson.
3 innings are in the books now as Georgia Gwinnett leads 1-0. A lot of zeros in the top half of that board for Lourdes. No runs on, no hits, no errors. Stay with me here. Versus Hunter Peck, who has faced the minimum through 3 innings of work, as Peck has now struck out 6 through 3 innings of work. We'll go back to the top of the lineup here in the top of the 4th. That'll be Harrison Jackson. Meanwhile, for Georgia Gwinnett, their lone run came in the second. 1 run on 5 hits, no errors defensively, as Colby Rogie has struck out 2 and walked none. Both these pitchers throwing strikes early. As Harrison Jackson scored the bunt but pulled it back, scored the bunt, offered that and missed, and takes a look at that ball, misses. Count 1-1. Harrison Jackson 1 for 4 in game 1 versus Talladega. Give him credit for 2 RBIs and a run scored for the Gray Wolves. Takes down first strike. He's ahead 1-2. Is Hunter Peck. Peck delivers in. This one's fouled up now to play to the right side. 1-2. This Lourdes team had a tough go at it to start the season. They got to play only 6 games in the same amount of time that Georgia Gwinnett has played 20. Yes, that has a lot to do with where they're located on the border of Ohio and Michigan. This ball's looped down the left field line and will drop in for a base hit. Caven's going to get to it pretty quickly, come up firing, but it won't be in time as Harrison Jackson will slide safely into second with a double. There goes the no-hitter for Hunter Peck. Seems to be a recurring theme that Peck takes either a no-hitter or a perfect game into the middle innings of these contests. And so his dominant form will give up a run. A leadoff double. This will pass the bat now to Glenn Crabtree. Crabtree, the second baseman, wearing number 22. As the first pitch into Crabtree, misses for a ball, 1-0. Lourdes team started their season on the road in Chillicothe, Ohio, part of a 2-day doubleheader. Or should I say back-to-back doubleheaders in 2 days on February 15th and 16th versus Rio Grande. And they came out victorious in all 4. And you think, all right, here we go. It's going to be a good start to a season. Now this ball's put into play to the right side. Barnes drifting back on the second pitch of the at-bat. Barnes will make the catch to retire Crabtree. Tagging up at second will be Jackson. That's a job well done by Glenn Crabtree. He'll move the runner over with 1 out. And now another execution at-bat coming for Jay Denman. So they had the same thing, 2 doubleheaders scheduled against Georgetown a week later in Kentucky, but those got canceled, only able to get 2 games in, and they lost to the Tigers 10-0 and 7-3. And then a week later, they played Talladega, which was earlier today, and won 13-1. That's Hunter Peck will face it against Denman. So a little bit having to do with location, but had a lot of games canceled and rescheduled, part of that competitive Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. Picked to finish 7th this year, but I can assure you there's not too many teams that are 7th in their respective conferences that beat a team like Talladega 13-1 like they did earlier today. You'd have thought it was Talladega coming from Ohio, and Lourdes has been playing baseball in Alabama for a number of months now. 1-1, swing and a miss from Denman. Peck hits ahead 1-2. So Denman a chance to trade an out for a run and tie this ball game up here in the top of the 4th. And again, he's going to try to do it 40-mile-an-hour winds. Denman 2 for 4 earlier today with an RBI and a run scored versus the Tornadoes of Talladega. 1-2, swing and a miss. Peck challenges with a fastball, and Peck picks up his 7th K-burger of the evening. That's an important out, number 2, as the runner stays put and Jackson over at third. Gray Wolves failed to execute. And now Hunter Peck 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning and preserving the lead. And a lot on the line here with this at bat because Hunter Peck has yet to give up an earned run all season. And that's what sits over at third with 2 outs and Brad Ammons. First pitch swing and a miss from Ammons. Count 0-1. Ammons is a good bat. Was 2 for 5, with 4 RBIs in game 1 versus Tornadoes. 0-1. Swung on this one was looped over top of the visitors' dugout. Peck gets ahead 0-2. Fastball in the outside corner, got him looking there. Hammonds goes down, looking. Hunter Peck picks up 8 strikeouts, and the streak lives on as Hunter Peck yet to give up an earned run this season. Zeros go up. We go to the home half of the 4th, 1-0. Georgia Gwinnett leads here on the Grizzly Digital Network.
At Jets Pizza, being square is delicious. Visit them after the game at 2695 Sugarloaf Parkway right here in Lawrenceville. You can also order online at jetspizza.com. Jets Pizza Lawrenceville, better because it has to be. Leading off for the Grizzlies, the right fielder.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to Lawrenceville, Georgia. Glad to have everybody aboard live on the website, ggcathletics.com. Not only, a 100% student-run production that you all have grown to know and love. We'd love to hear from you. Use the hashtag GGCathletics. But as we look up in the second inning, we realize that we've got ourselves an all-female behind-the-scenes crew. We got Jayla, Rose, and Janita all working hard, providing you the sights and sounds here from Lawrenceville, Georgia. So, tip of the cap to the girl power here on the Grizzly Digital Network. So, Nick Barnes will lead things off with a double, stand-up double for Nick Barnes. He'll be up at second base. And again, it'll be 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Grizzlies as Barnes is aboard. This will bring up Ryan Cavey. Cavey will dig into the left side, a chance to move that runner over with less than 2 outs. We saw Lourdes have this opportunity in the top half of the inning, got the runner over to third, but couldn't get him in to score. And so Cavey going to try to do the same here. Well, cat and mouse at second. Cavey wanted time, couldn't get it, puts the bat back on the ball here and a bunted toward the third baseman. That'll do a job. However, bobbled by Crabtree. And so not only does that move the runner over, but it will also put a man aboard. So the error on Crabtree will put runners at the corners and nobody out. Nobody out. And Austin Bates, the catcher, will dig in. Bates digs in from the right side. Lots of options here for Jeremy Sheetinger. Good runner in Cavey. Over at first. As Rogie delivers the first pitch, misses for a ball, 1-0. Barnes got him a healthy little Bates has got him a little healthy 4-game hitting streak brewing. Correction, let's make that 5 games after the single in the second. Cavey 4 for 5 in the stolen base category over at first. They pick over to check on him. He's back in the bag, sliding safely. We already talked about the above average speed of Nick Barnes over at third. So maybe some opportunities here, a little smoke and mirrors Maybe a push bunt to the right side. Well, that 40-mile-an-hour wind blowing straight at the right field. Nothing wrong with a good old-fashioned sac fly to right. Rogie delivers in. Cavey's on the move. Throw down to second base, not going to happen. Pump fake from the catcher as the curveball hits for a strike. Grizzlies have runners at second and third on the first successful stolen base of the afternoon. Infield, we get drawed in. 1-1. Bates hits this one right at the shortstop. Barnes is going to gamble. Here comes a throw to the plate, and it's in time. Fielder's choice for Bates, who hits it to shortstop. Hare will pick up an assist as Barnes is thrown out for out number one. Cavey wisely goes over to third. Bates will advance over to first.
Courtesy runner at first base.
A second appearance by Miles Smith. Barnes was probably doing what he was coached to do, and he's reading down angle, meaning ball in the dirt on a ground ball. He's going as soon as he sees that ball on the ground. And it was a good catch and a good throw by the shortstop and Hare. And that's what's going to take to get Barnes out. The ball's hit a little bit to his left, a little bit to his right. Barnes is maybe safe. But the throw's a little bit high. It's a percentage you're willing to take. Who didn't do his job there was the catcher in Austin Bates. Kind of hit it somewhere other than on the ground and right at an infielder. Kind of reached for the breaking ball. Smith is on the move down to second base, and he'll slide in safely. There's Miles Smith. No surprise there, the green light. That's Smith's 16th stolen base of the season. And the Grizzlies have runners at second and third once again with one out. Pitch missed for a ball. It's 1-0 to Tate Kite. Rogie delivers in. Kite checked his swing. Pitch missed in the dirt for a ball. Not going to appeal. The count's now 2-0. Tate Kite back on the swing of things with a 6-game hitting streak. Got himself a little bit of a slump there throughout the middle parts of February, but got things started in Game 2 versus West Virginia Tech. And he's got a base hit in each of those games. A couple of multi-hit performances, too, as well. In total, during his current 6-game hitting streak, he is a total of 9 for 22. Got himself 3 doubles and a home run during that stretch. 2 balls and 1 strike. Checked his swing. That one misses in the dirt. Kind of 3-1. So Kite, ability to deliver a right hook here in the fourth. Grizzlies stuck a jab in the second and lead 1-0, but with multiple runners on the base path. Chance to deliver in. Action pitch on the way. Rogie fires in. Breaking ball misses low, and so with an open bag, not a bad move by Rogie. It will issue his first walk of the contest. As Kite will be aboard, and that will load him up with 1 out. So that passes the bat now to Cord Johnson, and with an absolute, there's a word that I want to use, but I don't think I'm allowed to. But an absolute gap in thought, let's put it that way, a blank spot in my brain. You know where I'm going here. When I mentioned Cord Johnson's last at-bat, and I got mixed up between the weather and the location and the Mason-Dixon line, and Dale set me straight. What I was looking for in reference to Cord Johnson was the Mendoza line of batting above 200, and that's where Cord Johnson is now at. So the baseball fans out there are having a laugh at my expense, and you know what? I'm okay with it. I'm perfectly okay with it. So Cord Johnson playing baseball below the Mason-Dixon line, as is Lourdes, for the first time this season. Cord batting above the Mendoza line at 250. Now you're all caught up. By the way, we got this game started a little bit early, too, as well, 5:30 start time. So if you're just tuning in or just getting home from your your work commute. Glad to have you here. Starting off your weekend here with us on the Grizzly Digital Network. We've got doubleheaders today, tomorrow, solo on Sunday, then back to the doubleheaders on Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. Plan accordingly on your World Wide Web. Cord Johnson, first pitch swinging, fouls this one out of play to the left, to the right side. Excuse me, it's 0-1. No balls, one strike. Rogie delivers in. Breaking ball, Johnson fouls that one straight back. Count 0-2. And the progress of what has been Cord Johnson in this lineup for GGC. No doubt about it, we need his glove in center field. And so it's his offensive bat that will determine where he hits in this lineup. And Cord, now at that .250 batting average, mostly because of his current 4-game hitting streak. Swing and a miss there, chases the high cheese. And a much-needed strikeout there for Rogie as Johnson fails to execute. So the bases stay loaded with now 2 outs in the inning.
Now batting the shortstop,
We'll back to the top of the lineup for the 3rd time in Gabe Howell. This is the interesting trade-off for Jeremy Sheetinger. Some would argue Gabe Howell is their best hitter in this lineup. So normally you hit your best hitter in the lineup in the 3-hole, but Gabe Howell has been tearing the cover off the baseball in this leadoff spot, now with a .391 batting average. You think, oh, that's pretty accurate. Getting himself on the base path at a .517 clip, more than half his at-bats he's on the base path, another characteristic of a leadoff hitter. But here's the thing that's interesting for Gabe Howell. After hitting in a leadoff spot for 2 weeks, he still leads the team in RBIs at 21. So that's more of a reason to keep Howell in this position. And, of course, he's hitting with 2 outs and the bases loaded, more RBI opportunities. So when your best hitter is not getting RBI opportunities, your offense is going to slack. But since Howell's been hitting on a leadoff spot, he's still been able to drive in runs. And so with that, it's an easy decision for Jeremy Sheetinger to keep Howell in his current role. He's hitting it, getting on base, he's scoring runs, and he's driving them in. 1-1, airs this one out to right field. Jackson giving it chase. He'll come in, now go back. Playing with the wind, he'll drift toward the warning track and make the catch to retire Howell and the Grizzlies for out number 3. So the Grizzlies have left a number of base runners already on the base path through 4 innings of work. That's going to be a total of 6 now already, but they do have a 1-0 lead heading into the 5th.
The number 5 ranked Georgia Gwinnett softball team is back at the Grizzlies softball complex. Leading off for the Gray Wolves, second baseman Riley Walters.
The 6-time national champions of GGC men's tennis continues to hold the nation's longest winning streak, now set at 120 consecutive matches won. That's right, the streak will be on the line early next week as the 11-0 Grizzlies will host Cumberland's on Monday at 1 o'clock down at the GGC tennis facility. Top of the 5th we go. Hunter Peck back on the bump. First one misses, second one hits. It's 1-1 count now to middle of the lineup here, and Riley Walters hitting in the 5 spot. Michael Lonazak is on deck, and Cedric Gonzalez in the hole. Peck comes right back with a fastball and hits his own 1-2. Walters earlier today, 1 for 3, a pair of walks and a pair of runs scored versus the Tornadoes of Talladega. And I want to put things in perspective for this Lourdes team. This one's aired out and out of play. And I know this is their first visit to Lawrenceville. They come out of the Wintry North, out of that Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. Same conference as who we've seen earlier already in Northwestern Ohio, and who we saw last year at the opening round, IU Southeast. A number of teams, Madonna, etc., that have made the trip down here to Atlanta. Swing and a miss on a changeup there as Walters goes down on strikes and is now 9 strikeouts for Hunter Peck.
Now batting, designated hitter, Michael Lonazak.
But what this Lourdes team did earlier today, the circumstances were what they were. Both teams played in the same winter, weather conditions. Both teams, trying to find their groove in March. Lourdes was just playing in their 7th game of the season, and here we are, the first full weekend in March. But the Grizzlies and the Tornadoes come from that same AII, Association of Independent Institutions. So what the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference is to the Gray Wolves, that's what the AII is to both the Tornadoes and the Grizzlies. They're an independent, so they don't have a regular season conference schedule. So that's why the Grizzlies have to schedule these extravaganzas with multiple teams coming to the town, because they've got to schedule 55 regular season games. Well, our friends over in Alabama, Talladega, they deal with the same challenges too as well. So sometimes swing and a miss from Lonwick. At now double-digit strikeouts for Hunter Peck.
Now batting first.
And so Talladega gets the invite, said, hey, come on over. You can get you 3 or 4 games in a matter of a couple of days. And so Marco Dominguez obviously jumps on top of that. And they're one of the teams that the Grizzlies have played the most throughout our 8-year history of the Talladega Tornadoes. We have seen what they can do with the bat. They have won the AII Conference Tournament in May. They have beaten the Grizzlies in weekend and midweek competition. That is the second best team at worst in the AII. And this Lourdes team, who was preseason pick number 7, beat them 13-1. And so it might be a little spring break mojo going for the Gray Wolves as they try to get out of the wintry north. This probably feels like spring break for them. 50-degree temperatures and 40-mile-an-hour winds. They're probably happy to be here. Meanwhile, Talladega still might have been curled up in a ball from what's been the crazy winter so far. It's rained the last 4 days here in Lawrenceville. I'm not even joking. The Grizzlies haven't taken a ground ball since beating Northwestern Ohio last weekend on this field. They've been stuck in the cages in the weight room. And so Talladega dealing with a lot of the same things. And they certainly looked like they hadn't played in 4 days. They'll get a new crack at it tomorrow. They'll get a rematch with Lourdes at 2 p.m. and then they'll get the Grizzlies at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Peck 0-2 versus Cedric Gonzalez. Check swing did not go. Pitch misses in the dirt. It's now 1-2. So my point is, I hope the Lourdes fans understand it is a tip in the cap from us here at Georgia Gwinnett to beat Talladega the way they did, because we certainly have done that only a couple times in our 8-year history. That is not a regular thing to beat Talladega the way they took a whooping today. 1-2. Filled at it, definitely went around. Peck strikes out the side for the second time here tonight. 1-2-3 inning for the 4th time in 5 efforts. He's faced one more than the minimum, and we go to the bottom of the 5th with a 1-0 lead here on the Grizzly Digital Network.
Grizzly fans are proud corporate sponsors invest their hard-earned resources in the Georgia Gwinnett College student-athlete experience. Without their support, we would not be able to compete as we do on the diamonds, courts, and fields. We ask you to consider supporting our sponsors the way they support this athletics program. To see a full listing of our corporate partners, visit ggcathletics.com. Plus, check out the visitor's guide under the fan zone link for full menu and contact information. We thank you for considering to support those who support the Grizzlies.
I be feeling like the man when I walk through.
Leading off for the Grizzlies, the second baseman, Kyle Harvey.
The defending national champions of GGC women's tennis are off to a roaring 8-0 start. The Grizzlies will put that #1 ranking on the line next week as GGC will play 3 consecutive matches. They'll start things off on Monday versus University of Cumberland's at 1 o'clock. I believe it's going to be Patriots versus Grizzlies on Monday on a number of different teams. Both men's tennis, women's tennis, and baseball will all take on the Patriots here in Lawrenceville, Georgia. So we got a lot of baseball left to play here at the Grizzly Baseball Complex before then as Kyle Harvey digs in here in the bottom of the 5th inning. We got a 1-0 score between GGC and LU. Lourdes University making the 10-hour trip all the way down I-75 into Metro Atlanta. Breaking ball into Harvey, misses upstairs for a ball. It's even at 1-1. And Lourdes going to get their money's worth out of it here. They're going to play the first 5 games of their spring break right here in Lawrenceville, Georgia. Georgia Gwinnett twice, Talladega. They'll get a piece of Cumberland's on Monday, too, as well. Then they'll wrap things up on Tuesday versus Viterbo. They'll travel up to what is the middle part of eastern Tennessee and play consecutive days on Wednesday and Thursday versus Bryan and Tennessee Wesleyan. Same exit as you go up 75. You just turn left to Athens and turn right to go to Dayton. And then they'll wrap up play heading back to Northern Ohio before they start conference play at Cornerstone on March 21st. 2-1 here. Harvey fouls that one off to the right side. That one fouled up and out of play to the right side. Harvey in a little bit of a battle. 2-2. Harvey sitting on a 3-game hitting streak. And in a battle here, found things off at 2-2. Harvey on the season, .350 hitter, 5 doubles, 1 home run, 11 RBIs, and 17 runs scored. That 4th double of the year could have easily just been a home run. He missed a home run by about 18 inches off the G of Grizzlies in left field versus West Virginia Tech. 2-2. That one off the end of the bat, a soft looping line drive over to fellow second baseman and Riley Walters for round number 1. It goes in the book as an out, and certainly Rogi happy to dispose of the Grizzly second baseman, but that solid 10-pitch at bat right there by Harvey is going to do a lot for trying to get into the bullpen and try to get rid of Colby Rogi. As Rogi now on 4 1/3 innings pitched has thrown a total of 72 pitches. Comparing that to Hunter Peck, who's already thrown 5 complete innings and has only thrown 64 pitches. And so with 1 gone, this will bring up Stephen Lugo. Lugo, a couple of hacks here, falls down 0-2 to Colby Rogi. No balls, 2 strikes. Rogi winds and fires. Fastball, that one pounds the mid of the catcher and Palinati, but just misses off. It's 1-2. Lugo extended his hitting streak to 4 games with a double in the 3rd, but was left stranded there with 2 outs. Lugo on the season, hitting a killer, .420. Now misses off the plate. Another good eye by Lugo, 2-2. Another reason we're going to let Gabe Howell hit a leadoff spot is because Stephen Lugo's hitting .420. Anytime you got a guy hitting north of 400, you're going to put him in a 3-hole every day. 4 doubles, 2 triples, 10 RBIs, and 16 runs scored. 2-2 offering. Now misses low, and now Lugo has worked things full at 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes. Now misses upstairs for a ball. And so Lugo, after falling down 0-2, worked his way back to a full count base on balls. Lugo will be at first with 1 out. And this will bring up the DH and Gabe Austin. So Gabe Austin from the right. Swung on. This one's looped over top of the third baseman's head. He'll drop down for a base hit. Lugo aggressively wants to go first to third. Here comes a throw back in the infield. He'll slide in safely. So the Grizzlies take the extra base on the base path with a one-out base knock by Gabe Austin. That'll put runners on the corners. GGC has been good at getting runners on the base path, not so good at scoring them versus Colby Rogie. So far through 4 innings, the Grizzlies have left 7 batters on the base path. And so now they've got 2 more on here in the 5th with 1 out. Barnes, who's been swinging a good bat for the Grizzlies, digs into the right side. Gabe Austin, the DH, tight lead over at first. Barnes takes the first pitch for a strike 0-1. Nick Barnes hitting .310 on the season. Quite the season cycle already. Slugging .586 thanks to 4 doubles, 3 triples, 2 home runs, 19 RBIs, and 12 runs scored. Barnes already 2 for 2 in this ball game versus Rogie. Single and a double. We'll take either one of those here. Austin takes off running here. Needs to try to get into a rundown. They give it up to Walters. Walters going to get a foot race with Gonzalez. It comes back to the bag at first. In the meantime, the collision happens. Lugo takes the plate. And now we're going to get the conversation as Jeremy Sheedinger is going to be coming up out of the dugout. We're going to count the run. Gabe Austin is going to be told to stay on the bag at first. And so Kyle Norton screaming across the diamond, telling Austin to stay on the bag. So Jeremy Sheedinger is going to take a number here as the head coach for Lourdes and Josh Bradford wants to come out. This is a little bit of a class reunion here, a little bit of a homecoming for both Bradford and Sheedinger, both graduates of Kentucky Wesleyan in early 2000. So they go back quite a number of years between these two coaches. And their paths have crossed in the collegiate coaches rankings. Bradford gets his answer that he either wants or doesn't want, I'm not sure. And now Jeremy Sheedinger talking things over with the home plate umpire. Sheedinger is going to tell the home plate umpire how that 04 class of Kentucky Wesleyan was so much better than the 02 class that Bradford was in. That's sort of that alma mater rivalry, right? And so now, after the explanation given to the home plate umpire, I think Sheedinger has been granted permission to go talk to the base umpire. So worst case scenario here for Georgia Gwinnett. The run will count. We lead 2-0, and Gabe Austin is out over at first. I think best case scenario here is the run's going to be counted and Gabe Austin gets to stay at first. And that's what they're talking about over there on the right side. It was an awkward collision, to say the least. And the difference is, and what Sheedinger wants an answer for, did the first baseman Gonzalez get his glove on Gabe Austin? And the base umpire will defend his case. So Gabe Austin is picked off, I believe, is the terminology. 2-6-3 for out number 2. Or caught stealing, if you will. 2 outs. Lugo run does count. Scores 2-0. There's 2 gone. Nobody on the base path. As Colby Rogie will go back to the windup. Again versus Nick Barnes in an 0-1 count. Looping breaking ball into Barnes and misses upstairs, 1-1. It was a chance for Barnes to drive in the runs. The Grizzlies get a cheap one on a first-third rundown. Now Barnes hitting with 2 outs and nobody on. 1-1. Barnes inside out swing to the right side. That one's out of play. He's in a hole 1 and 2. And what seems to be a close ball game at 2-0. We're going to head to the 6th, and Hunter Peck has struck out 10 and faced 1 more than the minimum. 2 runs may seem like a mountain to climb here for the Gray Wolves versus the Grizzlies starter. Barnes fouls that one off.
Everybody clap your hands.
Count remains the same at 1 and 2.
Come on, y'all.
Grizzlies have now created 4 outs on the base path in this ball game versus Lourdes. we talked about leaving 7 runners on the base path. There's 4 more outs that the Grizzlies have given up. We've got 2 caught stealings, Barnes thrown out of the plate, and now we got Gabe Alston in a rundown between first and second. There's 4 outs on the base path for the Grizzlies. So what could have been 7 runners left on base could be 11, or could be 7 runners left on the base path and 4 additional runs scored. So that's kind of the cat and mouse you get in the risk versus reward when you talk about being aggressive on the base path. Barnes plants this one down the left field line, but foul. Bounces over the 3-foot fence down the left field line. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Deuces wild, trains are coming. Fastball from Rogie. He will pick up his 4th strikeout of the evening, and that will end the threat of Georgia Gwinnett in the 5th. Grizzlies get a run plated, however, and lead 2-0. We head to the 6th here on the Grizzly Digital Network.
The Gwinnett Sports Commission fosters economic development through coordinating and developing Gwinnett's role as a leading site for sports events involving youth, collegiate, amateur, and professional organizations. To find out more about everything it does for our hometown teams, visit GwinnettSportsCommission.com. Leading off for the Gray Wolves, the shortstop.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to Lawrenceville, Georgia. 2-0. Georgia Gwinnett leads over Lourdes. As Hunter Peck back on the bump for Georgia Gwinnett. 8-9-1 spots in the lineup here in the 6th. As Josh Hare, the shortstop, will dig in. As Hunter Peck doing what Hunter Peck does. Struck out 10, walked none, no runs given up on just 1 hit. There was a double by Harrison Jackson all the way back in the 4th. Lone base runner in this contest for the Gray Wolves. Josh Hare takes the second pitch at bat. It hits for a strike. It's 0-2. Josh Hare earlier today, all the way down in the 9 spot, went 2 for 2 with an RBI and 2 runs scored, including 3 walks versus the Tornadoes. 0-2. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. They get 11 strikeouts now for Hunter Peck. And this performance to Grizzly fans is no stranger to Hunter Peck. As Peck in 2018 was the AII Pitcher of the Year. Took a year off in 2019 and now is back for his senior season, and he is laser-locked, focused, and determined in the top of this starting rotation for Georgia Gwinnett. And even this double-digit strikeout performance is something that he does on the regular. Back on February 14th, 7 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts versus Toccoa Pauls. February 21st, 8 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts versus West Virginia Tech. And now here tonight, so far on 5 1/3 innings pitched, he's got 11 strikeouts. 3rd time this season he's in the double-digit strikeout performance. That one's off the end of the bat, a squibber toward Kite, but it'll roll in foul territory as Alex Palinati stays alive in the at-bat. And even Hunter Peck, not only no stranger to double-digit strikeout performances. He actually has the single-game record for a pitcher with the most strikeouts in a contest at 13 versus Stillman back in 2018. An AII Pitcher of the Year performance. That one sliced foul. Count 0-2. Peck ahead of Palinotti. This one sliced foul again. Kite gives it chase, but the wind will push that one up and out of play. As we turn this broadcast from afternoon to evening, we're completely under the lights here in Lawrenceville, Georgia. As the wind, you don't get quite the gushes of 50 miles an hour, but still a steady breeze. Or not a breeze. A steady sustained wind of 25 miles an hour. Peck 0-2. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Bates will gather it in and make the tag of Palinotti. It's now 12 strikeouts for Hunter Peck.
Now batting.
And 2 times to the lineup
Catcher,
for
Alex Palatini.
the Gray Wolves. They've got no runs on just one hit. Grizzlies are flawless defensively behind Hunter Peck, who has struck out 12 and walked none. The lone Lourdes batter with a base hit is stepping into the plate now, and Harrison Jackson, who had a double back in the 4th. First pitch into Jackson, hits for a strike 0-1. Peck working quickly. Big looping break. Well, this one's off the thumbs of the right-handed hitting right fielder. Count 0-2. Jackson hitting .500 on the season, 12 hits and 24 at-bats, and he is spread it around the ballpark. Pair of doubles, pair of triples, a home run. 6 RBIs and 8 runs scored. Peck ahead 0-2. Sticks to the fastball, blows it right past him, and that is 13 strikeouts now for Hunter Peck. That ties not only his career best, but the GGC baseball single-game record for most strikeouts in a contest. And we're only through the 6th. We head to the bottom of the inning. 2-0 Grizzlies lead here on the Grizzly Digital Network.
New pitcher of the game for the Gray Wolves, number 38, Max Blanco. Leading off for the Grizzlies, left fielder, Ryan Cavey.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here for Lawrenceville, Georgia, as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Grizzlies leading 2-0. There's a new pitcher on the mound for the Gray Wolves. Will be number 38, Max Loiko. And Loic's going to sophomore season, 6'5", out of Barrie, Ontario, Canada. Will take on the 6, 7, and 8 spots in the lineup. Cavey, Bates, and Kite. As Ryan Cavey, the left-handed left fielder, digs in. Working the count here, 1-1. Proper introduction here for Loico. A 4.50 ERA, has Scavenger himself 2 wins out of the bullpen. 4 innings pitched in total, giving up 4 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. Opponent bet 286 versus the Big Reddy. So taking on Cavey here. In the 6th. 3-1. Misses upstairs, ball 4.
Now batting the catcher, Austin Bates.
So Loico will issue the walk to Cavey. And this will pass the bat now to Austin Bates. So the Grizzlies have a leadoff runner aboard for the 3rd time in 6 innings. But the ironic thing, both times the Grizzlies got a leadoff runner aboard, they did not get him in to score, which is the theme of the day. Cavey's on the move on a breaking ball that hops up into the catcher's face mask. Palinotti's able to get to it and keeps Cavey just at second with a stolen base. And so the high-risk, high-reward Grizzlies on the base path. Trying to not only get guys on, but get guys over and get guys in. So that's the name of the game here in the 6th for Austin Bates. 5-game hitting streak. May have to sacrifice himself to move Cavey over to 3rd with less than 2 outs. That's the name of the game here. Loico wants Bates out and wants to keep Cavey at 2nd. Can he do so? That one comes in on Bates. He jumps out of the way of it. Count out 2-0. We've got doubleheaders galore here on the Grizzly Digital Network. We start things off with the spring break extravaganza. Lourdes versus Talladega. The Grey Wolves won 13-1 earlier today. Now here in game 2 of the day 1 action. Bates turns this one a high fly ball down the left field line, but it's out of play. We'll be back at it again Saturday, which is tomorrow, I think. And Lourdes and Talladega will play game 1 again at 2 o'clock. The Grizzlies will face the Tornadoes in game 2. Solo contest on Sunday at 2 o'clock. Grey Wolves versus the Grizzlies. And then we'll welcome some fresh meat into town with the University of Cumberland's and Viterbo on Monday and Tuesday. 2-1. This is upstairs, make it 3-1 to Bates. One count. Let's see if Bates goes after a fastball here. Hitters count. Never had a chance there. That one was never a strike. Misses up and in. And so after Colby Rogie walked 2 batters in 5 complete innings, Rogie comes out of the bullpen and walks the first 2 batters he faces in the 6th. We'll see Miles Smith for the 3rd time tonight. That's the courtesy runner.
For the Grizzlies at first base, number 3, Miles Smith.
So already some activity in the Lourdes bullpen. And with 2 runners on and nobody out, this brings up Tate Kite. Tough decision here for Sheets. Do you bunt with one of your hottest hitters in the lineup? Sits on a 6-game hitting streak. Kite scores the bunt, bunts it hard right at the 3rd baseman, and he couldn't have scripted that one any better. Meanwhile, Kite uses a 6'7" frame to beat it out over at first base. Kite can't steal second here on the sneak attack, as it's everyone's occupied. Every base is occupied. Here comes the yes chant again from the Grizzly dugout.
Now batting center fielder, Cord
So what was a good look at a bunt for a hit, but we would have been okay with a sacrifice bunt. Turns into a bases loaded, no out situation now for Cord Johnson. North of the Mendoza line, hitting 250. And a chance to break this game open with Hunter Peck on the mound, who has tied the single game record for most strikeouts in a performance with 13. Tied his own record, by the way. Destined to go back out there in the 7th. Johnson, first pitch swinging here. Ground ball to the 3rd baseman. Crabtree to the plate for 1, and Palinotti stomps on the dish for out number 1. Not the worst place you can hit it if you're Cord Johnson.
Shortstop, number 10, Gabe Howell.
So Cavey's retired at the plate. Smith moves to third. Kite up into the bag at second. Johnson occupies the bag at first. There's one out now to roll things back to the top of the lineup in the sixth inning with the bases loaded for Gabe Howell. I'll cue him up again here. Gabe Howell leads the team in RBIs, even from the leadoff spot with 21, and would love to see some of those RBIs here. Loco. First pitch misses up and in for a ball, 1-0. This is execution 101, and the Grizzlies have not been good at it tonight. Bases loaded, one out. 40-mile-an-hour wind blowing straight out to right field. I don't condone the use of dropping and driving, but if you stay inside this baseball, and even if you pop it up, it should blow out to right field and give you a positive at-bat if you're Gabe Howell. Loco. Tosses the first one low. It's 2-1. No, 2-1. I don't know where I got that from. 2-0. Howell 1 for 3 in tonight's contest. Single back in the first. Grounded out to short in the third. Then flew out to right to end the fourth. Logo delivers in. Misses upstairs. It's now 3-0. Nowhere to put Gabe Howell. We've seen Jeremy Sheetinger give 3-0 green lights. Gave it to Livingston Morris in a walk-off 10th inning home run against West Virginia Tech. No walk-off opportunity here, but we'll see if Howell gets a green light 3-0. Logo delivers. Fastball that clips the corner. Gabe Howell thought that might have been ball 4, but instead it is strike number 1. So he will grab the bat and dig back into the right side. Loco delivers. Fastball in at the knees. And now after falling behind 3-0, Loco battles all the way back at 3-2. Grizzlies would trade outs for, should I say, in-out for a run. 3-2 offering. This one's hit behind home plate. Palinati gives it chase. Will stay with it, hoping the wind blows it back into play, but it does not. It lands in the bleachers. Howell keeps the at-bat alive at 3-2. Again, sac fly to the outfield. Something hard hit that gets a force out at one of the bases, not the plate. We've seen that already. Single, double, triple, home run, all of that gets the job done. What we don't need, a comeback to the pitcher, ground ball off the middle for a tailor-made double play, or even an easy ground ball to the corners to get a force out at the plate. It's not going to matter as that's ball 4, misses up and in. So Howell will get credit for the RBI, team best at 22. And Smith comes in to score, and the Grizzlies lead 3-0. And so now comes Josh Bradford to talk to his reliever, who has been less than stellar. 3 walks, a single, and a fielder's choice. We'll call his day to an end. We'll step aside here, come back, tell you all about the new Lourdes reliever on the other side of this here on the Grizzly Digital Network.
Fans, your attention, please. A new pitcher into the game for the Gray Wolves, number 54, Travis Thompson.
back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we're in the bottom of the sixth inning. Grizzlies have already played a run and have a 3-0 lead. With the bases loaded, tough spot for Travis Thompson to come into. He wears number 54, sophomore season left-handed pitcher, 5'11", out of South Euclid, Ohio. We'll try to take down Kyle Harvey. Worth noting, during the pitching change, Jeremy Sheedinger with the complete 100% offensive huddle outside of the dugout in the on-deck circle, trying to rally the Grizzlies here to deliver a big knockout blow. And of course, a lot of confidence with Hunter Peck out there on the bump in the top half of the innings, but the Grizzlies just haven't been sharp offensively today, and now a chance to do it versus Travis Thompson. First pitch missed in the dirt to Kyle Harvey. Second pitch. Misses upstairs for a ball, and a fastball, 2-0. Harvey sitting on a 3-game hitting streak and is 0 for 3 here in this game versus Lourdes. Grizzlies have left 7 runners on the base path. They've had 5 outs on the base path, too, as well. A chance to clean things up here. 2-0. Harvey, ground ball to the shortstop. Hare flips it over to Waters. Waters with the turn, pulls Gonzalez off the bag. Meanwhile, Johnson's going to try to take home, and he does. They're both the good, the bad, and the ugly for Georgia Gwinnett all in one play. Harvey puts it in play, hustles down toward first. Kite comes in to score, and Johnson hustles his way around third. He scores on the play, too, as well, and the Grizzlies lead 5-0. So what could have been a back-breaking, ending double play for Travis Thompson and the Gray Wolves instead keeps the inning alive. Without number 2, as Harvey occupies first, and Steven Logo digs in. Logo takes the first pitch low for a ball, 1-0. Proper introduction here for Travis Thompson, a 36.00 ERA. He is hung with a loss in his lone appearance. He tossed 1 inning, gave up 4 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, no walks and no strikeouts. The opponent's batted 667 versus the left-handed reliever. So the Grizzlies able to plate 2. And now trying to kickstart a 2-out rally. Lugo fouls this one straight back to the netting. And the hitters count now 2-1. Lugo on the day, done it all. Struck out, walked, hit a double, and extended his hitting streak to 4 games. In total, 1 for 2 with a run scored. Two-one. Oh, misses in for a ball. Make it 3-1. GGC sitting on a 17-game hitting streak, trying to flirt with history through this spring break invitational, playing 5 games in 5 days. 3-1. Swung on. This one's fouled straight back again. It'll now be 3-2. So Harvey's over at first. He'll be on the move with the pitch, as the infield will back up for the Gray Wolves, trying to keep this ball in the infield clay. Meanwhile, Lugo could shoot something in the gap and score Harvey from first. There goes the runner. Misses upstairs, ball 4. So Lugo issued a pair of walks on the back half of this contest. We'll put runners at first and second and 2 outs. This will bring up Gabe Austin. You're right on the cusp here if you're Georgia Gwinnett. You feel like 5 runs is enough. You got Hunter Peck dealing out there on the mound, and you just can't get complacent. You'd love to, as the old coaching cliche goes, step on the throat here and deliver a crooked number. Grizzlies, I guess, have done that here in the 6th with 3 runs, but they've kind of backdoored their way to a couple of walks and a couple of runs with the bases loaded. First pitch into Austin, misses upstairs for a ball, 1-0. Gabe Austin trying to get back in the hit column with that base hit in the 5th. 1 for 3 today with a strikeout, but then got picked off and caught in a rundown. I say picked off. He actually got caught in a rundown. Did what he was supposed to do and almost got back to the bag at first safely. 1 ball, no strikes. Thompson delivers in, comes in on the hands and finds the zone for a strike, 1-1. Grizzlies stolen base threats all the way around all season long. Now 81 of 97 on the season. That's still an 83% success rate, which is, if you're north of 80, that's a great number to be at. But here today, just haven't been clicking on all cylinders offensively. 1-1, that was off the end of the bat into center. Two-step for Ammons. Looks like he'll have a beat on it, and he'll haul it in, drifting toward right center for out number 3. So thanks to a plethora of walks and a couple of free baseballs, Grizzlies score 3 runs in the 6th and lead 5-0. We head to the 7th here on the Grizzly Digital Network.
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. Here's your chance, do your dance at the Space Jam.
The 6-time defending national champion, Georgia Gwinnett College men's tennis team is hosting Cumberland on Monday, March 9th at 1 o'clock from the GGC tennis facility. Be sure to see the team's full upcoming schedule by visiting ggcathletics.com.
Six innings are in the books here as Lourdes University has a lot of zeros up there. No runs on just one hit. No errors defensively for the Grizzlies behind Hunter Peck, who has tied the school record for most strikeouts in a game, his own record at 13. And a chance to break it as Peck goes back out here in the 7th. He has faced one more than the minimum. Crabtree, Damon, and Ammons scheduled to make appearances here in the 7th. Grizzlies lead 5-0. First pitch hacking here by Crabtree, fouls it up and back to the netting, 0-1. On the bottom side for Georgia Gwinnett, 1 run in the 2nd. It's going to be 1 run in the 5th, 3 runs in the 6th, 5 runs on 8 hits, 1 error for the Gray Wolves defense, and they're into the bullpen with Travis Thompson, who may or may not come back out for the 7th. So you're all caught up now. That's Hunter Peck filling it up, as they would say, versus Glenn Crabtree. 0 for 2 today, striking out and a fly out. Crabtree on the season, 455 on the year. 10 hits and 22 at-bats. 0-2, this one's put into play, sharply hit, one hopper handed by Howell. He will Michael Vick it over to first. Now Tate Kite will come off the bag and apply the tag as a collision over on Spaghetti Junction happens over there at first base. But Crabtree is retired on the 6-3 putout. This shows you how dominant that Hunter Peck has been in this contest. That is only the 5th ball that had been put into play in 6 1/3 innings pitched. That's right. We had a fly ball to Howell in the 1st, fly ball to KV in the 2nd, a fly ball to Harvey in the 3rd, a double, fly ball into Barnes' mitt in the right, and now that ground ball is the 6th ball put in play in this contest by the Gray Wolves. Peck goes right at Jay Denman. Denman, a .273 hitter on the season, 6 hits and 22 at-bats. Peck, first pitch hit, second one on the way. That one's in on the 5th. Skies out on the right side. Back goes Tate Kite. He's a little bit lost on the play. That'll land right above Kite's head. And it didn't sound good coming off the bat. It kind of hit off the handles, and Kite couldn't gauge that one too well. And so it'll be the first single of the game for the Gray Wolves. It's by Denman. So 1 out and a runner aboard. This will be the cleanup hitter, and Brad Ammons. Hammonds delivers in here, and a ground ball over to Lugo. Lugo to Cavey for one. Cavey on the kite for two. Hunter Peck finds himself a pitcher's best friend. 5-4-3 double play, and just when you thought Lourdes had a rally, Peck faces the minimum once again. Stretch time in Lawrenceville, Georgia, here on the Grizzly Digital Network.
All right, Grizzlies fans, it's time to stretch. Our seventh inning stretch is brought to you by PepsiCo, makers of Pepsi, Aquafina, and many other available beverages. Right here each game at the concession stand. Pitcher to the game for the Gray Wolves, number 27, Brent D. Miller. Hitting off for the Grizzlies, the right fielder.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to Lawrenceville, Georgia. We go to the bottom of the fifth, and man, we don't break news here on the Grizzly Digital Network. We just strain it. We strain it as much as we possibly can. And I've got some disappointing news. There was a huge moment for Hunter Peck, and I completely blew it. Dale Long, a wonderful sports information director, sticks his head in the booth and says, I got Peck for 14 strikeouts. And I said, I got him for 13. And what do you know? You look back over the numbers, and I simply lost track of how many strikeouts Hunter Peck had in this contest. Well, lo and behold, Hunter Peck, congratulations. Tonight versus Lourdes, you have broken the school's single-game record for most strikeouts in a contest, which was your own record previously held in 2018 with 13. Tonight, you got 14. So what I thought was his 13th strikeout to end the sixth. It was actually his 14th, so congratulations for Hunter Peck. I wanted to get that in. I don't know if he's going to come back out in the eighth. His pitch count is really good. We could see him. I don't know, but I wanted to update you guys. Hunter Peck, 14 strikeouts through 7 innings of work. Pretty impressive stuff for the Grizzly Friday night starter. He's done so on 82 pitches, too, as well. All right, you're caught up now. We are in the bottom of the seventh, got the blood flowing after the seventh inning stretch. A new pitcher for Lourdes will be Brian Bymiller. He wears number 27 and hails from Newmarket, Ontario, Canada. 6'3" freshman will dig into the right side versus Nick Barnes. Working the count here 2-2. Barnes having about the best offensive day at all the Grizzlies. 2 for 3, a single, a run scored as well as a double. Barnes, I'd give you a Grizzly Today nomination, but let's face it, we're going to see the man with 14 strikeouts. The Grizzlies can hold on to this 5-0 lead. I think we've got kind of a regular thing going now with Hunter Peck. Friday night date night on the Grizzly Digital Network. Hunter Peck always comes up here and sees us on Friday night. I have to talk to him about that. 2 balls, 2 strikes here. Bymiller versus Barnes. 2-2 on the way from Bymiller. Fastball comes off the knob of the bat. Barnes will drop the bat, grab his wrist in agony, and he'll trot on down to first. And so Barnes will be granted the hit by pitch. He'll trot on down to first.
Now batting left fielder.
Again, the story continues for GGC. 4 times in 7 innings, the Grizzlies have got the leadoff runner aboard, but the previous 3 had not scored. That walk by Cavey was thrown out at the plate on a fielder's choice. In the 6th. Now here we are on the 7th, and Barnes finds himself on the base path. As the previously mentioned, Ryan Cavey digs in offensively. Cavey, 4 hits in 19 at-bats. That's a .211 batting average. Takes the first pitch, two-seamer first, strike on 1. Cavey, been on the base path all 3 times in his plate appearances today. Single, reached on an error, and walked. But again, the mojo of the day has yet to score. Barnes on the move. That one's going to be thrown at the feet of Cavey. They'll hit him on the boot. He'll trot on down to first base. Back-to-back hit by pitches issued by Miller. We'll put runners at first and second. Miller, numbers on the season look a little bit like this. A pretty healthy 3.38 ERA. No decisions on the season just yet. This is his 3rd appearance. Previously, 2 2/3 innings. Gave up 4 hits, just 1 run. It was earned. No walks and 2 strikeouts. Opponent's bat .444 versus the righty. So doesn't give up a lot of free baseball, does Miller, but he'll give up a base hit here or there. So Austin Bates squares the bunt early, pulls it back, takes it for a strike. He even thought about trying to swing at that pitch too. It's 0-1. Bates' 5-game hitting streak now, thanks to a single back in the 2nd. Officially, he's 1 for 2, but he's been on the base path 3 times. Single, fielder's choice, and a walk. And he's been relieved by Miles Smith, the courtesy runner here. Bates delivers a line drive into the shortstop's glove and hair, and Barnes well off the bag at second. They'll double him up. So Miller finds himself a pitcher's best friend.
First baseman, number 9, Tate Kite.
As Cavey stays put over at first, this brings up Tate Kite. I think I feel comfortable saying this. Don't tweet at me if you don't. But at 18-2, we're 21 games into the season. It's our 21st game. I don't want to use the word worse. This fly ball's hit into the outfield, but tracking it down will be Walters. This is the unhealthiest performance we've seen the Grizzlies on the base path. They've been great all season through 20 games. Now at 21, they've hit a little bit of a hiccup. So listen to me complain with a 5-0 lead as we head to the 8th here on the Grizzly Digital Network.
Grizzly fans, this inning is brought to you by the Hayes Family Dealerships and their lineup of Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles. Located at 719 Duluth Highway in Lawrenceville and online at hayesatlanta.com. Leading off for the Gray Wolves, second baseman Riley Walters.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the Grizzly Baseball Complex. The 5th-ranked Georgia Gwinnett Grizzlies lead the Lourdes Gray Wolves 5-0. As Hunter Peck in his 82 pitch is back on the bump here in the 8th with a career best and a school record 14 strikeouts versus the Gray Wolves. His first pitch hacking here by Riley Walters. Fouls this one in the bleachers. 0-1. I'm glad Hunter Peck comes back out here because rightfully so. Wanted to honor him in an appropriate way. As simply I lost track of strikeouts, and it mostly had to do, you're not going to believe this, from the 4th, 5th, and 6th inning, he struck out 8 batters in a row. That's right, with 1 out in the 4th, he took down Denman, Ammons, Walter, Lonizak, Gonzalez, Hare, Pollinati, and Jackson, all with consecutive strikeouts. 8 strikeouts in a row, and that 8th strikeout in the 6th got him to 14. And so a 1-2 count now versus Riley Walters, who's been a strikeout victim twice, trying to avoid the hat trick. 1-2, Peck. Fastball just misses a bit low. Make it even at 2-2. Walters on the season, 278 hitter, 5 hits and 18 at-bats, including a double, 2 RBIs and 4 runs scored. 2-2. Swing and a miss, make it 15 strikeouts. And a hat trick for Riley Walters. So Hunter Peck doing his best Grizzly growl at the Gray Wolves. And in true dominant fashion. Hunter Peck now 5 outs away from glory and a 5-run lead. Michael Lonizak digs in. First pitch, that one fouls off the knob of the bat, or does it? As Lonowick will pull a Nick Barnes, drop the bat, grab his hand, and trot on down to first via the hit by pitch. An eye for an eye, I assume. And so Lonizak
first baseman
will avoid this hat trick. And he'll trot on down to first. That is just the 3rd base runner in this contest for Lourdes. And to put things in perspective, this Lourdes team 5-2 on the season and just beat Talladega 13-1 earlier today. And now, in 7 innings, by the way, and now here we are as Lourdes only has 3 base runners and trailing 5-0. Austin Bates almost picked the runner off at first and Lonizak. But a base umpire will rule in favor of the Gray Wolves. Cedric Gonzalez, the hitter. First pitch misses for a ball, 1-0. Peck fires in. That one moves the feet but hits the zone at 1-1. Cedric Gonzalez getting a start in game number 2. DNP in game number 1. Gonzalez, 250 hitter, 3 for 12 on the year. Gave him credit for an RBI. 1-1. Peck will pick over to first. Wasn't the smoothest of pickoffs there for Hunter Peck. I think he does it with a smile on his face. Dugout might be giving him some grief. This is a weak chopper over toward Lugo. He'll fill that in foul territory. And so Gonzalez will retreat back to the plate. Grab a bat and be rudely greeted with a 1-2 count. Lonizak will head back over to first. This Lourdes team doubleheader today. They'll have a single game tomorrow versus Talladega at 2 o'clock. Then they'll get the nightcap to rest back at the hotel before returning on Sunday to finish out their series with the Grizzlies. That's a 2 p.m. first pitch on Sunday. And they'll come back on Monday and Tuesday and play teams not named Georgia Gwinnett, Cumberland's and Viterbo. 1-2. Handcuffed him on the breaking ball there as Gonzalez will go down on strikes. 16 strikeouts now for Hunter Peck.
Now batting the shortstop, Josh Hare.
I feel a montage on Twitter coming up soon here. I'm going to have to get our creative juices flowing here on the Grizzly Digital Network later on. This is certainly a program-worthy performance for Hunter Peck, slicing up this Gray Wolves team for 16 strikeouts. With 2 outs, Josh Hare digs in, doesn't want to mess with that strikeout, and he puts it at play over toward Harvey for out number 3. Just a pair of strikeouts for Hunter Peck in the 8th. Give him now 16 on the night, a new school record. We go to the home half. 5-0 Grizzlies lead here on the Grizzly Digital Network. bottom of the 8th we go. Grizzlies leading 5-0. Last chance to add some insurance runs here in the bottom of the 8th. It'll be the bottom of the lineup here for the Grizzlies. Johnson, Howell, and Harvey scheduled to make appearances. As the reliever, Brian Beimiller back on the bump for the Lourdes Grey Wolves. First pitch swing and a miss from Corey Johnson. Beimiller gets a hit 0-1. Johnson at risk of losing his 4-game hitting streak. He's 0 for 3, reached on a fielder's choice and scored a run. Grounded out and struck out in his previous at-bats. Takes that one in the dirt for a ball, Steven at 1-1. Again, folks, another doubleheader for you tomorrow. Lourdes versus Talladega at 2 o'clock. Then GGC will play Talladega in the nightcap at 6, and we'll have all that for you live right here on the Grizzly Digital Network. For the Grizzly fans, you guys might want to stay tuned to Twitter, too, as well. With that run rule contest earlier today, we were able to get started about 30 minutes early. So, check in throughout the day. We'll have every inning of every game broadcasted live for you on the Grizzly Digital Network. So pull the broadcast up, see where we're at from a progress standpoint. And you got other things going on, I understand, on a Saturday, but check back in late to middle of the afternoon. See if there's any sort of update, whether they're going to be early, on time, or late. We'll have that for you on Twitter at GGC_baseball for the latest. 2-2. Misses upstairs, make it full. Hunter Peck, the star of the night, shining the brightest under the lights here in Lawrenceville. 8 innings pitched, give up just 2 hits. No walks, no runs, 16 strikeouts, a new school record, and has done so on 93 pitches. Johnson fists this one to the infield. Tough play for Walters. He's going to have to hurry up and throw it as Johnson will be aboard, and this has his hitting streak in the hands of our official statistician, who is going to think about it and deliver Corey Johnson a base hit. There we go. I was trying to stall for the other. Corey Johnson, infield single there. 5th consecutive ball game with a base hit, so that'll extend his hitting streak. A couple of Grizzlies have extended hitting streaks today. Stephen Lugo to 4 games. Austin Bates to 5. Tate Kite to 7. And now Corey Johnson to 5. 4 times to the lineup for the Grizzlies, 5 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors defensively by the Grey Wolves. As we go back to the top of the lineup, 5th time we'll see Gabe Howells. He'll dig in with a runner at 2nd as Corey Johnson was able to get to 2nd on the wild throw. That one misses in on the Grizzlies shortstop. Not 2-0. So Beimiller from the stretch falls behind 2-0 versus Gabe Howell. 1 for 3 on the day with a walk with the bases loaded. Infield fly here. Here comes Hare. He'll make the catch in the infield grass and retire Howell for out number 1. So Howell fails to execute, move that runner over to 3rd.
Now batting second baseman, Kyle Harvey.
This may be the perfect ammunition for Jeremy Sheeninger. Yes, your team is on a current 17-game winning streak. Yes, they've won 18 of their first 20. Yes, they're the 5th-ranked team in the nation. But here tonight, you got out to a 5-0 lead. Your starter and your ace, your number 1, Hunter Peck, delivers and dominates for you, but you made some mistakes, and that's about as perfect as it can get for a head coach. You don't play well, you win the game, and there's a lot of teachable moments inside that 9-inning contest. And I think that's what you'll see out of that post-game pep talk, or maybe even the classroom conversation tomorrow morning before the Grizzlies come back out here versus Talladega. Kind of clean things up just a little bit on the base path and have some better executed at-bats. Harvey with a ground ball over to 3rd, fielded cleanly by Crabtree. And that'll be on number 2. So Corey Johnson, who was standing at 2nd with no outs, still stands at 2nd now with 2 outs for Stephen Lugo. Again, as I look up and down my sheet here, I apologize for this choice of language, but there aren't any sexy at-bats today for the Grizzlies. We got a 2-out double by Stephen Lugo, left standing at the bag. We got a couple of singles here and there. I mean, a run scored off of fielders' choices and bases loaded walks. So we're certainly fortunate to have those opportunities. But there's really not that clutch 2-out RBI. There's not really that big-time extra base hit that scores a bunch of runs. Literally all the runs the Grizzlies have scored, the ball never left the infield. So Miller working up against Lugo here. First one hits, second one misses. It's 1-1. Lugo did extend his hitting streak to 4 games thanks to that double in the third. Officially 1 for 2 with a pair of walks, including a run scored. And again, Lugo scored from third when Gabe Austin got caught in that rundown between first and third. I mean, I would say that's your offensive highlight of the night. But I think our Grizzly Today postgame interview is going to be filled with one letter, and that would be a K. Repeatedly. I don't know if we'll get all 16 in a postgame interview, but a lot of Hunter Peck you'll see in the highlights. 2-1. Misses upstairs. It's now 3-1 to Stephen Lugo. And again, fans, as we log off here on the broadcast, we would encourage you guys to tune back into ggcathletics.com. We'll have our postgame interview, our Grizzly Today, posted on our website as long as full stats and recaps of today's action. And if nothing else, check back in the morning. We'll get you geared up for day 2 of the Spring Break Invitational. 3-1. As Lugo airs this one out in the left field. Long way to go for the shortstop and Hare. He'll stop and now camp out underneath it, catch it outside his body for out number 3. So that'll do it for the Grizzlies offensively. 5 runs on 9 hits. Is it enough? We head to the 9th, and out returns Hunter Peck, looking for the complete game shutout here on the Grizzly Digital Network.
John Creek off Jimmy Carter Boulevard or Medlock Bridge Road. To check out everything they can do for your business, visit fastsigns.com. Fast Signs, more than fast, more than signs.
Older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze, country roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads. All my memories gather round her, miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky, miss the taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye, country roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home.
Leading off for the Gray Wolves, the catcher, Alex Palatini.
All right, folks, we head to the final frame here in the top of the 9th inning. The Gray Wolves down to their last 3 outs and down 5 runs. And due up here in the 9th will be 9-1-2. Palinati, Jackson, and Crabtree trying to face the dominant Hunter Peck. 16 strikeouts on the night, a new school record. Looking for the complete game 9-inning shutout. Looking for the hardest 3 outs of the contest. First one misses for a rare ball. Second one comes right back for a strike. It's 1-1 versus Alex Palinati. Palinati with a pair of strikeouts already in this contest. 1-1. Now this one off, and now he's in a hole 0-2. This will be Hunter Peck's 3rd double-digit strikeout of the season in just a mere 6 appearances. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Peck delivers. Breaking ball just a bit upstairs there, looking at 17. "24 outs recorded, and 16 of them have been via the strikeout." 2-2. Now misses up and in, making that 4-3-2. I don't have this number in front of me, but just off the top of my head, I think this is the first 3-2 count. At worst, it's the second 3-2 count. He had a 2-2 count earlier in the 5th. Don't think it went 3-2. Swing and a miss. 17 K-Burgers and 25 outs recorded. The dominant Hunter Peck gets the heart out of the inning.
Batting right fielder Harrison Jackson.
And so Peck just making things even more harder for himself and future Grizzlies to toe that rubber with now 17 strikeouts. And a game. Back to the top of the lineup for Harrison Jackson. This is upstairs. 1-0. One ball, no strikes. Comes right back with a strike. It's even a 1-1. I'll get this from Steve Less tonight, and I'll share it with you guys tomorrow. I want to know how many 0-2 counts Hunter Peck was in, how many 1-2 counts he was in, and I want to know the opposite. How many 2-0 counts he was in, and how many 3-2 counts he was in. He is throw-in strikes versus the Gray Wolves. 1-2 now, again, versus Harrison Jackson. Jackson is the first hit of this contest in the fourth. It was the leadoff double. Got the third, but left stranded there. 1 for 3 in total with, guess what, a pair of strikeouts. 1-2, Peck delivers. Swinging bunt over toward Luga. He'll wait for the high hop, catch it about chest high, then throw the rocket across the diamond. Over to Kite for out number 2. So there's the harder out of the inning, and now the hardest out of the contest, out number 27. And Hunter Peck looking to get all 27 by himself out there on the mound. I don't want to say he doesn't have teammates, but Hunter Peck, the only pitcher by himself that is looking for all 27 outs. First pitch, swing and a miss from Glenn Crabtree. And again, I think what's even more impressive, I'll say it, more impressive than Hunter Peck's 15 strikeouts is how about this season that will have thrown 38 innings of work and yet to give up an earned run. Oh, 2 here versus Crabtree. Peck 1 pitch away. Here it comes. Fastball, swing and a miss. Crabtree goes down on strikes, and the glory goes to the Grizzlies. Hunter Peck takes the headlines, breaks the school record with 18 strikeout performance. He bested his own record by 5 additional strikeouts. Back from 2018, he had Baker's dozen, and now here tonight, he's got a Peck's 18 strikeouts. As the glory goes to the Grizzlies by a final score of 5-0. Lourdes blanked across the top. No runs on 2 hits. 2 errors by the Gray Wolves defensively. Meanwhile, GGC 1 run in the second, 1 run in the fifth, 3 runs in the sixth, 5 runs on 9 hits, no errors defensively. Hunter Peck picks up the win. He's now 4-0 on the season. Meanwhile, the loss goes to the starter and Colby Rogie, as he now falls to 2-1 on the year. We'll be back in action tomorrow for the doubleheader. 2 o'clock first pitch between the Gray Wolves and the Tornadoes. Then we'll have the nightcap around 6 p.m. between the Grizzlies and the Tornadoes, and we'll have all that covered for you live right here on the Grizzly Digital Network. Don't forget to log back into our website, ggcathletics.com, for our Grizzly Today post-game interview as well as a full recap of today's action. Again, the glory goes to the Grizzlies by a final score of 5-0. That'll do it for our entire female cast and crew from Lawrenceville, Georgia. I'm Matt Mahoney saying so long, everybody. This is the Grizzly Digital Network.
We'd like to thank our corporate sponsors who have made this broadcast possible, and you, the fans, for tuning in. For the latest information, log on to ggcathletics.com.